Joining me now is Congressman Troy Carter, Democrat of Louisiana. Congressman, we appreciate you joining us this holiday weekend. I spend it usually this first time since pandemic. I'm back in New Orleans for the Essence Festival. But let's
welcome back, sir.
To your state. Thank you. Let's since we're here and it has national ramifications, let's get to your state's Supreme Court battle over voting maps. But I have to start with our escalating abortion rights fight. But I want to get into that, but I have to start there. You know, as states continue to wrestle with last month's Supreme Court overturning Roe versus Wade, this week a district court, in the person of a judge in district court, blocked your state, right here in Louisiana, blocked your state's trigger ban on abortion from taking effect. Now, as abortion providers in states of this state has filed a lawsuit calling the ban unconstitutional. A hearing is set in that case for this Wednesday. So for now, abortions continue in your state of Louisiana. But how are Democratic lawmakers in your state preparing for what comes after?
Unfortunately, my state happens to have one of the most egregious abortion laws, one that has been triggered, and thankfully we have a district court judge in New Orleans that's halted that, at least for the time being. The legislature is ultra-conservative in Louisiana and has passed several, going back all the way to 2006, several very egregious, very damaging laws as it relates to reproductive freedoms and the rights of women to choose. We will continue to fight in the U.S. Congress, but as it relates to the Louisiana legislature, unfortunately, the votes just aren't there.
Now, Congressman, I want your response to another of the Supreme Court's decisions this week to reinstate your state's Republican-drawn congressional map, previously halted by a federal appeals court decision that found the map to be racially biased in violation of the Voting Rights Act. The Supreme Court's decision also blocks the lower court's ruling that a second majority black district need be drawn in Louisiana with November midterms elections looming. Anything I'm missing here, Congressman?
We're missing basic math. The Supreme Court is missing basic math. If you look at simple math, African Americans make up 33% of our state. We have 6 members of Congress. I happen to be the only African American Democrat. By just pure math and reapportionment numbers, the growth of African Americans in Louisiana clearly denote that we should have a second seat that an African American can elect someone of their choosing. 2/3 of 6 is going to be 2 every way you slice it, yet we only have 1. And for the Supreme Court to act in this way, as they did with Roe v. Wade, removing the precious right of a woman to choose, and now denying African Americans the right to choose a second member of their choice. Clearly, the numbers denote that African Americans should have a seat.
This is the same court. I just want to emphasize so people understand, this court, with a 6-3 conservative now majority, and for all those that said voting doesn't matter, well, this matters, because not only are we dealing with Roe versus Wade, we're dealing with cases like here in Louisiana, where the population would call for at least 2 black populated districts. We're down to 1. Now, Congressman, I want to get your reaction also to the death of delivery driver Jalen Walker earlier this week, shot and killed by Akron police, Akron, Ohio, after a car chase and an on-foot pursuit. Autopsy records showing Walker was fired upon nearly 100 times, more than 60 shots hitting his body. The Akron Police Department maintains that Walker posed a threat to its officers. Still, 8 unidentified officers are suspended. And I want to get you to view this in light of the case, that the fact that you have cases right in Louisiana that you've had to deal with police brutality. So as we have dealt with police misconduct, police killings over the last several months, how do you react to now what we're hearing in Akron, Ohio?
Horrific. It is horrible to see yet another young black man shot down like a hunted animal. You know, Louisiana asked for patterns of practice investigation after the apparent cover-up of the Ronald Greene case. Yet here we go again, another case in another part of our country where a black man is shot multiple times like a ferocious animal on the street. Listen, we're trying to do something in Washington. We've passed the act to make sure George Floyd will never be just another name. It now waits on action in the U.S. Senate. We codified Roe v. Wade to make it a law. It sits and waits in the U.S. Senate. We have to make sure that people know elections have consequences, and we have to demand that the other side listens. And if they don't listen, we have to make this November an absolute case where everybody goes out and votes and demonstrates that if the Supreme Court seeks to take our rights away, we will renew them with new legislation, with new members of Congress, new members of the Senate.
If that message is not sent, it will continue as business as usual. And I think that if people are angry, they need to vote their anger. Thank you, Congressman Troy Carter.
We got to stay angry long enough to the polls.
Absolutely correct. Joining me now, thank you, Congressman. Joining me now is